Hello everyone, my name is PearlescentMoon and welcome back to New Life, episode 7. As you all know, I am on my third life. Or if you don't know, hi, yes, I'm on my third life. I once was a star, and then I died again and was reborn as a copper golem for the second time. Alas, we don't talk about that. And with the third life comes a form of responsibility. Because on the server at spawn, we have a couple of clubhouses. We have the first life house and we have the second life house. However, we don't have a clubhouse for the third life. And that's something that we're going to be changing today. So we're going to go pop over to spawn and we are going to meet up with fellow third lifers Sausage and Owen, and we're going to create an absolutely fantastic clubhouse for those that are on the same lives as we are. Let's go catch up with them. Hey, hello.
Hey, hello.
Hello. Are you...
Boing.
What the heck is that?
Boing. Boing.
You know, I thought you were a panda at first, but I'm starting to get the idea you're a rabbit.
Hello.
Hello. Boing.
Hello.
Boing.
Hello.
You're a bit bigger than when I last saw you.
I'm so sorry. I feel so bad.
You're all alone now.
Yeah.
No, I'm not, because we have the three of us on the same lives. You know, it's fine.
Oh,
See?
that's
Ow.
true. Oh, sorry. I was just trying to get the grass out of the way because the grass is taller than you.
Hey, what are you saying?
Nothing. You're tiny.
I've never done one of these before.
Oh, these are
I
fun.
know.
I did this one with a bunch of the guys there, and this one turned out cool. I think Jimmy and no, Jimmy didn't do nothing. Jimmy just watched Joel do it, and then
I haven't actually seen this. I haven't been in the sport in ages. This looks
It's a
really
lovely
cool.
Color.
yeah, it's a very nice color. It matches my aesthetic right now, actually.
Oh, yeah. I guess yellow is going to be the color of today.
Yeah. We gotta do a yellow theme.
Who has yellow blocks though? What do we
Oh.
like? What blocks do we have? Do we even have yellow wood at all?
Does oak count? Oak counts, right? Kind of. That's
Oak is
yellowish,
kind of
maybe.
yellow.
Yeah, kind of. I'm gonna check.
Those leaves are pretty good.
And I can't go into nether now because I will burn alive.
Oh, really?
I could've-
You just instantly burn?
Yeah. No, I'm just like very weak.
Oh,
I just
okay.
have like 6 hearts and yeah,
Oh,
fired.
I see.
Yeah, I was flame proof the last 2 lives.
Oh, so
I'm
now
not,
you're just screwed.
Yeah, I'm a little scary. It's a little scary rabbit.
Wow,
you
I'm
know?
so scared.
I'm a little scary rabbit. All I can do
I'm
is
so
jump now. That's
scared.
it. I lost all my fire powers, my fireballs, everything. All I have is this. Boing.
Sausage, I've been
Boing.
living with 6 hearts for most of this series. Why are you so
Oh,
screwed?
yeah, of course, yes.
Yeah, that's true.
The
That's
copper
true.
golem has not
Can't
many.
imagine.
I can't show you guys what I am yet. You'll have to wait another day.
Oh,
I'm
really?
excited.
It's a secret right now.
Oh.
Which
goody.
is why I'm currently a human. Well, I
Uh-huh.
look like a human.
Human in form.
Fake human. You fake human.
Fake
wearing a
human, it's all
skin.
under the surface. Yeah.
That's really
Oh
creepy,
my
I'm
God,
just
that's
saying.
messed up.
What are you wearing skins for?
You're wearing the skin
Where'd you
of a
get that
human.
skin from? That's what I want to ask.
my old self.
Oh, okay. You
peeled
just
it
dug
off
them
your
up.
old body. What style are we doing this thing in?
Style, good question. I have no idea.
Okay, so then this is just a little tiny little suburban little house that's red. This is a number 2.
Uh-huh.
So we can basically go anywhere from here.
Yeah, it could be anything, literally anything.
It could be literally anything.
Yellow. A banana?
Okay, do a big banana.
A big banana?
Oh God! Do you know how to do an organic banana, Pearl?
Technically, yeah, but I don't want to
yes!
build organics today.
Oh
I want to
no.
build a structure.
Yeah.
So maybe not a banana.
How about a structure that has a banana on top? So the 3 could be literally like anything that has maybe
Anything.
a 3
It doesn't
on
have to be a
We
doesn't
number.
even have to
live
have a
in
number.
a
No.
yellow submarine.
A submarine.
yellow
Ooh.
submarine.
Yeah, the submarine. Yes, like
We're building a
Which
Yes,
is-
we can build a submarine and a platform.
Which is ironic because I can't go in water.
Oh God!
I'm getting various different trying
Oh,
to
that's a
build
yellow
together.
tints.
There's flavor
that's-
light as well. Does anyone know where to get that from? Like,
What the heck
Oh,
is
that's
that?
an end
I
block.
think that's the end. Oh yeah, and I can't fly no more. I'm done.
Oh, you're so
I'm
scared.
grounded.
You're
Let
so
me go
scared.
check. Maybe I got a bunch of stuff from the end. Hold on, I'll be right back. Let me just check what I got. I
Okay.
brought a bunch of stuff back.
We can build out
Hold
of
on.
gold. There we go. There is yellow wool, which we can also change with chips.
Yeah.
I don't really have much of that
Good
though, so I'll have to
point.
dye some sheep.
Well, let's figure out where it's gonna be. We've got ourselves. I guess we can go here in this little
Yeah.
spot.
Honestly, I
careful.
think it's pretty cozy in that spot. Because that's not death, is it?
Yeah. Oh.
There's a
sounded like
skeleton down there.
sounded
It's
like
very
death.
much death.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to go down there. Okay, I'm just going to go back to my base and just check to see what I have. And maybe dye some sheep
Sounds
as
good.
well. Just gotta dye some of these beautiful sheep yellow because we're going to need a lot of that, I'm sure. Do a little bit of a shear. Boop. I have wool and I have concrete. However, I only have about 2 sacks of wool. That's all I could get.
That's perfect. That's good enough. Oh my God, look, I see a Marvin.
A Marvin? Is that what those skeleton horses are called?
They're the Marvins. That's what Joel calls them. Every time he poofs them out of his body.
Do you still fart as a bunny rabbit?
Nope. Well, technically, I do a little baby poof. But
A
it
little
doesn't
baby
do nothing.
poof?
You want to listen? Listen to this. Ready?
Yeah, let's
Listen.
see.
Shh. Shut up, Marvin. Listen. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh. What does that do? That is definitely a little bunny poof.
Yeah, to be honest, I have no idea what it does, but whatever it does, it makes me feel good doing it. I bring my book back. Well, I have a lunchbox. Would you like to see my lunchbox?
Okay, sure.
Let's see. Take a look at my lunchbox.
Still your
That's my
lunchbox? Oh, is this the only food you have?
Yes. Give me my food back! Give me my
Rabbit's
food
gotta
back!
eat
Come here, you little tiny little copper girl. Give me my food
Rabbit's
back.
gotta eat
What is this?
food.
Give me my food back. That's my lunchbox. That's my lunchbox. I packed it myself. Nobody packed it for me. Give me my lunchbox back right now.
Do a little poof. Do a little poof. I want to see a little poof.
You want to hear my little poof?
Let's
Okay,
see,
ready?
I wanna do
Okay,
a
ready?
little poof.
Okay, shh. You gotta be quiet. Ready? Every time I do this, I don't know what it does, but it just makes me feel good inside. You know, all my anxiety goes away.
This is sadly the unfortunate instance where I mention, well, my internet dropped out at pretty much the exact moment we were going to start building this thing. I became a stereotypical Australian and the internet dropped out. Classic. So, in good Australian fashion, that means, unfortunately, we also missed the building of the clubhouse because my internet went out for basically the entire session that we had scheduled to get this thing built, and I wasn't going to have other people waiting for me. So this is probably the realest part of content creation that you're going to be seeing today, and you know what? We are still going to get involved in the building of this clubhouse, even though the majority of it is pretty much done at this point. When I managed to pop online, I found that Jem had gotten involved in the building process as well, and you know what? One of the first things that she asked me to change was the submarine scope itself on top of the vehicle. Being not very happy with it at all, she pretty much urged me to change it in my little additions that I'm going to be making today. And I figured another way I could contribute to the submarine was adding some surroundings to the area, seeing as the other beautiful clubhouses over here do have some wonderful scenery with them and wonderful surroundings. And then I thought I could also texture the submarine itself because it's currently pretty much entirely terracotta and I would like to see a little bit more kind of roughness added to it somewhere in the blocks that it's made out of. But first I must sleep because it's nighttime and it's too scary out here as a little copper golem, okay? So to get started on these additions that I thought I might do, let's do this together. First things first, I want to change some of the ground to a little bit of a sandy nature because, well, there's not many situations where it's pretty much just a pond here with a submarine. You might have a beach nearby, so I'm going to use some sand and it's going to bring some extra yellow to the environment itself too. I have this lovely swampy hay block right here, which isn't quite as lovely as it might seem to begin with, but I think it's going to be a pretty interesting transition to go from the grass, although kind of contrasty right now, to then some polished birch planks that we were able to alter through the chipped mod that we have on the server, which kind of looks a little bit like sand in itself. And then we transition straight to the sand, and I think that makes quite an interesting gradient. In order to make the green a little bit more interesting, I've also altered some moss blocks too with chipped and managed to make this, which is what we call a crunchy moss block. Ooh. So let's stick a little bit of this gradient around the submarine and see how it turns out. Why did we have to build a submarine as the third life clubhouse when I'm absolutely mortified of water? To be honest, I asked that and I'm the one that suggested it in the first place. I've really only got myself to blame. Anyway, we've got a little bit of a gradient going on here. We don't need that leaf. Get that out of here. Right. We have a little bit of a gradient going on here of sorts. It's still a little bit of a stark contrast between the green and the yellow, but I think the hay does at least help it out. And I reckon these birch planks they were able to alter with chipped honestly look pretty nice as a little bit of a darker tone next to the dirt path here. It really helps it kind of blend just a little bit more. Of course, you got to add a little bit of slabs for an extra touch of terraforming. The next thing I want to do is fix these path blocks because where are the slabs up, guys? Come on. Come on. How do you get up these? You gotta hop every time you get up? No. We're not all bunny rabbits like Sausage. There we are. That's a little bit nicer to walk up. I really love the path block slabs. These are so nice to use. It really makes me want to use the path block a little bit more in my builds. Of course, you've technically already seen that in my base because all I've been using for my paths are path blocks. But, you know, they're definitely growing on me. The next thing that we want to be making here is some custom trees, because if you look at Clubhouse number 2, it's got some beautiful orange custom trees, and Clubhouse 1, although it doesn't have any custom trees of its own, it does have some beautiful kind of red autumnal trees to go with it. And although we do have some beautiful yellow leaves bordering our path, we need some taller bush boys to go with them. And in order to not clash with these path leaves, I found these beautiful bushy ones right here, which kind of have a little bit of a yellow undertone while still remaining a little bit more on the green side. So it's kind of a nice combination. We've also got some beautiful stripped birchwood walls, another advantage of the wonderful mod pack on this server. And I thought I could combine those with some birch fence for a bit of alteration in the trunk size of my little trees that I'm going to be making. If we chuck a couple behind it, a couple on this side, I think that should border it quite nicely. One of the slightly more awkward parts about these trees is that you fall straight through the leaves. It makes building with these things a little bit harder, but kind of fun to fall out of them. Therein lies the question about whether or not we can actually MLG with these leaf blocks. Maybe? Oh, I would say that works brilliantly. Alrighty, not bad. Why is there a random block of mycelium in spawn area? Why do you exist? Then what are you doing here? Okay, enough of playing around. We got one more tree to build. There we are, just some cute little fluffy trees to go around our submarine. I think that helps out the environment a little bit there, so it's not kind of just sitting in the middle of some grass. I don't mind it at all. And how about a little bamboo mat on the sand for, you know, a nice little added touch. Ah, this is cute. Kind of gives a bit of the beachy feel. And there is actually beach grass that I would technically love to put on here as well. However, that is a biome that I have not yet found, and apparently it's super far away. So maybe we'll have to think about this one in the future. Otherwise, I think the environment is definitely coming together. Now, another small little thing that I did want to change when I was looking at this is I actually kind of wanted to change the little pier that they've made here. It is very cute and I do like it. However, I think because it's the same color as the submarine, it kind of feels like it is a part of the submarine. And originally you might think it was a door. However, this is the door that opens when you push the button, which is kind of crazy. So the reason that I want to change this is because I think it kind of detracts from the wonderful vehicle that they've made. And I reckon even just changing this to maybe some oak slabs would probably help it out a little bit. There we go. Now it feels a little bit more separated from the submarine. And you know what? Seeing as it's nighttime, let's go have a little bit of a snooze in the cabin. Look at this place. There's even a Gemini taste slime in here. Look at it, so cute. Okay, oh, and look at the little squiddly octopus as well. I'm going for a little snooze. Much safer now that it's daytime, beautiful outside. And you know what? One thing that I did realize is that this thing doesn't have a steering wheel. And maybe one of the best places we can add one is right here in this room. I'm thinking if we just add a couple of shafts attached to this wall with a giant train flywheel and a little yellow valve handle on it, I think that makes for a pretty funky steering wheel. And you know what? It turns as well. Look at this. We're driving the submarine. Maybe we can use a little bit of light with this lamp as well that you can turn on and off with the push of a button. Oh, cute little decor pieces in this mod pack. I love it. Drive the submarine. Beep, beep. Nonetheless, that's all I'm doing to the inside. I just wanted to add a cute little wheel to it. Let's close that door and keep doing some work on the outside. I think with the environment being so empty on this side, I reckon we can just add a few touches of azalea leaves to kind of draw that in together. And then we're going to continue to bring around these yellow leaves as well to pull in the path style that they were going for. There we are. Add in a little bit of azalea leaves, a couple more of those extra yellow leaves around the other side as well, and even put some of the azalea in the water just to kind of give it a bit more of a nature, maybe like the submarine's been here for a while kind of vibe. Added a bit of seagrass in the water too to bring more of that green in there underneath. And I reckon we are pretty happy with the environment that it now sits in. Would you look at that? All right, now we're going to move on to the submarine itself. Let's start by changing up the scope up there that Gem very much wants me to change. Now, if we do look at the scope of this submarine right here, I think the main problem that it contains is that it's really hard to build kind of a curved spyglass in Minecraft. For all of you wondering why I didn't build an observatory as the star origin, that's why. I really don't like building them. So instead of trying to make a curved periscope? Is that the official terminology for a submarine thingamajiggy? I'm instead going to make a straight up and straight across 90 degrees type of spyglass utilizing some cyan terracotta and these really cool metal girders in the Create mod. I think adding a little bit of a different color to this other than the yellow is going to give it a little bit more of an industrial machine type feeling. And you guys know how much I love machines. We gotta add it in there. And there we are. That's the kind of vision I had in my head. I think it works. What do you guys reckon? Do you prefer the kind of the curved feeling or a bit more of the 90 degrees industrial? Let me know. Completely open to feedback on that one. All right, and last but not least, we're gonna add just a little bit of texture in the yellow terracotta itself just to break it up a little bit. And lucky for us, they've also left some of the materials behind so that I can use them to do whatever I wanted to the submarine. We are definitely gonna be using some of this yellow terracotta and transforming it with the chipped mod, because just look at this workbench. This is the chipped mod, and there is so many different kinds of yellow terracotta in here that we can use for some beautiful subtle texturing. Another thing that we can do with terracotta is if we put yellow terracotta into a stone cutter, we also get these different variations of terracotta as well. Now I don't know what the H&H mod is, but I reckon these yellow terracotta bricks are gonna go just wonderfully as like kind of a bit of a stripe on the submarine. Let's do a little cut transition to it being textured, shall we? Unfortunately, those blocks are gonna be lost to the wayside because there is no way I'm jumping in to get those, so just ignore the little floating dudes every now and again. But we now have a submarine with just a little bit of extra texture in it. Like, it's not crazy, I didn't change much, I just added a couple of stripes of this really nice brick there and there at the very top, and then added this kind of circular pattern terracotta within the submarine walls itself. And I think that's just enough to really break up the smooth texture of the original terracotta and just add a little bit of a different element to it. So although I didn't get to help build the actual submarine itself, which I'm absolutely gutted about, at least I kind of added my own touches in my own way. Whether these were good additions or not, I will let you guys and the other folks in our Third Life group decide. Because for now, I think I am done. Alas, submarine aside, it is time for us to pop into our next project for the day. And we are going to be going back to the building that we made last episode, in which was the mud farm shop right here. Although the current mud farm design that we have is great and is wonderful and converts the mud seamlessly, it's not quite fully automatic because at the end of the day, you have to gather the dirt yourself in order to supply the conversion to mud. In this episode, I'm going to expand on the machine that we currently have and indeed make this fully true automatic. We want to generate the dirt that goes into this mud farm by utilizing itself. And thanks to you guys for the wonderful suggestions in the comments of the last video, you suggested we generate some coarse dirt. You can craft coarse dirt with 2 gravel and 2 pieces of dirt, and that makes 4 coarse dirt. And if you till a coarse dirt block and then dig it up, it becomes a normal dirt block, which therein provides us with 4 pieces of generated dirt. And lucky for us, if we step inside my clay farm right here and take a look at all the crazy contraptions we have out the back, we already know that we can generate our gravel from scratch by putting cobblestone into some grind wheels, which makes gravel, and then that makes sand. And we all know the basics of how to make cobblestone with a wonderful cobblestone generator that is automatically mined by this drill bit right here with Create. So basically, the only thing that we need for this to be a fully self-sustaining farm is that we just need to add in some own dirt, maybe a couple of stacks of dirt, and then it will just supply itself over time. Half of the generated dirt will go into the mud conversion system, and the other half will just go back into itself to continue regenerating, so that we'll never have to touch it again. So thank you all so much for that suggestion there, because that is absolutely brilliant, and you have some very powerful minds going on. I've done a little bit of playing around with Create, and I've been able to create my own version of the fully automatic mud farm that is going to work, but we are going to have to extend this building out the back quite a bit in a bit of a warehouse fashion. So how's about you all put your feet up, grab that popcorn, and I'm going to launch you all into a time lapse. Roll it! When you all suggested a method in the comments of the last video on how to make this farm fully automatic, I was like, you know what? That sounds pretty simple. Boy, was I wrong. The positive thing is that I have finished the farm, despite it being just a little bit more complicated than I thought. Just to show you the outside before I do walk inside, it's not exactly the best looking structure out there, but it's just a little bit of an extra attachment, of course, that we've put onto the back of this building here. Just like I mentioned before the time lapse as well, I've gone for a bit of the warehouse rectangular prism shape here with a basic triangular roof on the top. However, I did cut out a small piece for the windmill blades to be able to move freely. And a problem I'm starting to realize more and more is that when I'm short, it's so much harder to show you guys these builds. But anyway, that is the piece that's properly cut out right there. It's a bit funky, but it works either way. So not much else to the structure. It's pretty basic. The real treasure is on the inside. Moving on inside, we have the original mud farm conversion system still here, but now this walkway extends out the back into our new addition, into whatever is going on with this absolute mess. And once again, here's a warning that I'm a newbie to create, so maybe this isn't going to be the smallest and most compact farm, but it works, and that's kind of what matters to me. Let me move up here so I can show you guys the whole thing, because would you look at this. I found the easiest way to kind of attach all the moving pieces together was by using the conveyor belts. It allowed pretty much all of these shafts to be connected, and so I wouldn't have to power each individual piece itself. I just had to make sure it was all linked up one by one together so it's working as one big cohesive piece. In terms of the functionality of this thing, let's dive into a really simplified version of it, shall we? Starting off up here in the copper segment, we have the basic cobblestone generator farm, which you guys would have seen in my clay farm. So this is generating the cobblestone, which is then going down into these grindstones right here, and that is deposited into a vault for large storage. I don't quite know how many blocks a vault can contain, but I believe it's in the thousands, so that means it can store quite a lot of gravel for some time. Underneath the vault here, we have the funnels that allow the gravel to be taken out of that vault itself and then down into these funnels right here. These blocks filter down into these pieces right here, which are called deployers, these funky little hand things. And these take hold of whatever blocks end up in its inventory. In this case, I've selected the filter to be gravel and dirt. On the opposite side, we have these pieces which are called mechanical crafters. And what you can do with these guys is you can essentially automate crafting in Minecraft without you having to do it yourself. As you can see, this is crafting the coarse dirt that we need for us with the gravel on the top left and the bottom right, and we've got the dirt in the bottom left and the top right. Once it detects that all the blocks are in the right place, it goes down to this bottom right hand slot here and outputs what it crafts into this chest so that it can further move along the conveyor belt. Once it's crafted the coarse dirt block, I have another deployer that's placing the block down, a deployer above with a hoe in it that is tilling the dirt, and then we have a drill piece that is then breaking the block once it becomes tilled dirt. The outcome of all of that is that it turns it into a regular dirt block and then it filters back into our old mud conversion system once again. However, instead of all of the dirt blocks going into the mud conversion farm, I've got these brass tunnels right here that split the output exactly in half. As you can see, it's alternating which path the dirt block takes between the two tunnels that I have selected to go down the two different conveyor belt options that I have for it. One of these paths, of course, goes back into the mud farm, and the other path just goes right back into the coarse dirt production once again. And this is simply all powered by that orange windmill that we have on top of that building. It's honestly amazing how much power it generates. That's kind of crazy. So yes, that is pretty much my farm. It looks a lot more complicated than I think it really is, but this was just my way in order to get this thing to work. The most painful experience was to figure out how to get all the dirt blocks back to where they needed to go, but it's all working now. In a nutshell, I would classify this as essentially entirely automatic. However, some people may say otherwise because technically you still need to craft the hose that the machine uses in order to till the dirt. Me being me though, I have a lot of diamonds, and diamond hose last for a very long time when tilling dirt. So all I've simply done is I've just crafted a bunch, and I've got this chest here that I can put more hose in over time, and this honestly should last quite a few hours to even days of runtime. So in my mind, as far as I'm concerned, it's fully automatic. But at the end of the day, if you did want to make it entirely automatic, you could just make another automatic crafter to make you some hose to then go back into the system. That wouldn't be too difficult. So I hope some of that explanation made sense, but let's go take a look at the output that it's created so far. If we go out to the front of our shop now to all these chests that it splits evenly between, take a look at how many stacks of mud blocks that we now have. This is actually insane how well it's done. Safe to say, I don't think we should have a shop supply problem for quite a while now. Overall, I am very proud of myself and I'm very happy that I've been able to create this farm because my gosh, it was so much fun. And yes, before you all mention it, the windmill hits the side of the building because if I put it out one more block, it wouldn't be symmetrical anymore, and yeah, it's fine. Okay, we just don't think about that. I'm sure there is much more that can be done to improve the design of that farm, but I'm happy with it, so I'll take that as a win. Did I just hear a pillager? Hello? Sir? Oh dear. Okay, hi friends. All right, I'm gonna walk this way for just a moment here. You stay over there. We're gonna stare at each other one-on-one, and we're just gonna vibe, okay, while I end the episode for today. Because as the rain pours on our heads, I think we have done quite a lot today, and it's time, unfortunately, to close off the day. I had lots of fun building the third life submarine clubhouse with our friends, and then expanding our mud farm to be fully automatic. If you guys liked the episode, please let me know down in the comments below. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and Tani and I will catch you guys in the next one. I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody! Goodbye! Goodbye! Goodbye. I'm gonna get inside. It's not good for a copper golem to wet. Okay, goodbye.